All right. Hello, everyone. I am back. My name is Monica and I'm from Geeks.Gogo.com, and I'm here again to work on some cosplay, show you how I make cosplay, and just basically answer any questions that you have. Um, Welcome to my weekly stream. I normally stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 Central Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, and yeah, I am so excited with all these builds that I'm doing. A lot of these builds that I'm doing in the next few months would definitely be something that I wasn't able to build last year. Last year was really busy. If you've been following me on social media, I had kind of like a little bit of a tour around and did a lot of shows last year. And on top of that, I did have some health issues that I encountered, unfortunately. But I just kept on trucking. Not a lot of people realized that I was going through something, which is fine. I don't normally like share that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't want people to feel sorry for me while I'm out and about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I am just happy to be able to catch up with some of the stuff that I'm working on recently. And I want to take you on a journey with me. When I go to all of these conventions, a lot of people do admire what I'm wearing, what my cosplay looks like, etc., etc., which is really nice. And a lot of the time, when they do see me wear my stuff, they always ask me how I make them. And a lot of the times too, like I get a lot of questions for people who are just starting out in cosplay, who have um, not the regular body size. So I don't have a regular body size or height, which is awesome for for some reasons it's awesome, but for the most part, it is a challenge to make cosplay because there's like no one size fits all kind of like aspect to it, unfortunately. So I'm here to help out anybody who's interested in cosplaying and want to make like their own cosplay, and make it easy for people to understand like how the creation process goes. So let me just type this in as always. So I have a really exciting project that I'm doing right now, and I am so excited. Like I said, I had a lot of like cosplays that I wasn't able to create last year because of all the obligations that I needed to do, which I didn't mind at all. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mind any of this stuff. It's just that I had so many cool stuff that I wanted to build and didn't have time for it. Well, now that I do, I'm going to be revealing each one like each week that I'm making stuff. And yes, like maybe. Okay, I'm back. This is weird. All right, let me connect back to everything here, and then I am going to, yeah. I don't know what happened to my laptop, but it decided not to work for some weird reason. Okay, one more check. And let me just make sure that I have everything in here. Okay, we're all set. Sorry about that. That was weird. But at least I'm back up and running again. Like all of a sudden, like my stuff like suddenly just like disappeared on me for some weird reason, but that's all right. I am now back here. Let me drink a little bit here. Okay, so what a day. Okay, it's been a busy day at work, and it's also been a busy day at the house. I don't know if you can notice, I do have a new setup right now. You know, we have this what do you call this? I do have a new shelf right now. So let me just change this camera real quick here, because apparently I have the same camera for both. There you go. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, like behind me here, I did change my shelf. It's a lot taller. I have a lot more room for it. And I'm about to get another shelf that I'm going to put behind me here. The reason why I've been shuffling around, putting all these new shelves, is because I am trying to clear out the other half of this room and basically make room for a painting section in here. And so my husband, he loves doing miniature painting, which is so awesome. And I also have a lot of paint that I need to go through and use. So that area is going to be dedicated to that. I'm not going to show it to you right now because it's still a mess. I have had so many unproductive weekends, but that happens, you know? So, enough rambling. Let's get to work. All right. So, new cutting mat. Yeah, this cutting mat, I underestimated the size of it. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be this ginormous, to be honest. But yeah, it ended up like being really big, which I actually do like. I just need to figure out how to store this. And if you were listening, I think 2 streams ago, this is my old cutting mat, and it took a beating. So these self-heating cutting mats, they should not be abused this way. So I'm going to tell you again, use the cutting mat just for cutting purposes. And these things are expensive. Like, you don't want to keep buying them, or like just look at how it looks. It looks so pitiful. It looks so dirty. So I've been using this for painting. When I was gluing my stuff, this is what I've been using. No more of that with the new cutting mat. I'm still going to use this for other stuff if I'm cutting like wood or metal or something like a plastic. But if I'm cutting foam, it's always going to be this purple one right now. Plus, it matches everything in my workshop perfectly, which I absolutely love. Hey, thanks for joining my stream. Yeah, I'm Monica from Geeks, Gogo, and welcome. If you have any questions about cosplay at all, please let me know and just type it in the comment section. But yeah, so cutting mat, like I said before, you know, make sure you have sharp tools. I have this lovely blade sharpener that I always use, and of course my cutting blade, which I need a purple one just to match. But what are we making today? So I know you're here to see what I'm actually making. Y'all are familiar with this, right? Here, I'm gonna hold this up. Everyone's familiar with this, and yes, it is an Arizona green tea. This is one of my favorites. I've survived 2 college degrees drinking this just to keep me up at night studying. So Arizona green tea is my absolute fave. If you know me, I have a running collection of Arizona green tea stuff going on. And at the same time, like last year, I actually did a split dye. Like half of my hair was mint green, half of my hair was pink. And yeah, because of the green tea. So I am making cosplay based out of that. So last week I'm making this. Oh, sorry. I'm making this cabbage mace. If you don't know where this is from or what inspired me to create such a thing, check out last week's session, which is on our YouTube channel right now. And the title of the session is Guess This Build. I'm going to be doing Guess This Build sessions now every month. And I'm going to be giving away either a Geeks Gogo t-shirt or a $25 gift card. So stay tuned for that. For the month of March, I am really excited to do like another Guess That Build. So, yep. So today's build is going to be inspired by Arizona green tea because I love this thing so much. And yeah, spring is around the corner. I mean, if you're in the Midwest, probably noticed temperatures are starting to like dip, starting to be warmer and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for that. Okay. I'm gonna make armor. So I'm gonna switch up. Let me see if I can switch up the cameras here, because what I'm going to be doing is, let me grab my materials real quick here. I need duct tape, which is in here. And I also need some cling wrap or plastic wrap, whatever you call it, saran wrap, plastic wrap. All right, let's see if I can switch this up real quick. Let me do this. Okay, so you can see both my screens. I promise there's a lot more room in here right now, but unfortunately, I still have bags of stuff that needs to be put away, but that's okay. So I'm going to make a duct tape pattern. So what is a duct tape pattern? I was asked this during one of my panels at Origins when I was doing like an introduction to cosplay. So a duct tape panel or a duct tape pattern is when you wrap yourself with saran wrap. Yes. Hey, how's it going? How's your weekend going? I know you had a busy weekend, Beth. So yeah, it's like it's always a mess. Everything's always a mess. I have managed to keep this workshop nice and clean for the most part. Like not entirely, but for the most part, it is the cleanest my space has been. And the crazy part about this is like on Thursdays I stream that Avatar role playing game now. But yeah, like it transforms. Like this whole space will transform into my streaming, and you will see my setup on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central at the DAT network, which is the DAT network on Twitch. And yeah, we play Avatar, the Last Airbender inspired game. You make your characters based out of like that world. So I have it's sort of unique, sort of unique character. Actually, the character that I created for that game, I created it 2 years ago, intended it for an RPG. So I wasn't sure if I was going to use it for D&D or something like that, but I drew it, I sketched it, I had a character sheet ready and a backstory ready, and I was just like, you know what, one of these days I'm going to play this character, and I did. Like it ended up like happening in our Thursday show. So yeah, I want to thank my buddy Eric Frankhouse for including me in their game, because it's really freaking awesome. So yeah, check it out. 8 p.m. Central on the Data Network Twitch. So if you're watching me, yeah. What is this crazy lady doing wrapping herself with saran wrap, right? Or like this plastic wrap. Well, I'm getting ready to do my duct tape pattern. So first step on the duct tape pattern And sometimes it is easier to have two people do this, but you got to do what you got to do. And Beth, I'm glad you're getting some rest and sleep because I know that you didn't get enough sleep this weekend. So wrap yourself with saran wrap, with a plastic wrap. I usually wear like a fitted shirt to this. And I wear, okay, here's a secret. Sorry, it's kind of cringe, but wear the underwear that enhances your curves or your figure. If you want to wear a corset or if you want to wear something that would shape your body, definitely wear that when you're making patterns like this. And I'm making kind of like a chest armor. So that's what I'm making. And I'm just going to make the front of this just to give you an idea how I make it. So a lot of people, when they lay the tape, they only lay half of it and then draw on it. But I'm going to do the whole thing and I'm just going to shape it the way how I wanted it shaped. So I just want a really simple pattern. And this cosplay is another original design that I'm doing for my cosplay. I'm just so happy that I have time right now. Well, until I get my proposal responses back. Like I sent out like 3 proposals over the weekend, and if they get back to me right away, it's back to building stuff for companies. But for the time being, this is what I'm working at right now. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go. There you go. And make sure that plastic wrap is really nice and snug to the area that you're putting this around, because that's gonna matter a lot later. Oh, no worries, Beth. Do whatever you need. Okay, so I know this is like so kind of anticlimactic. Like, I'm taping myself. Hooray. Like, what exactly am I doing? Now, I have this a little bit above my stomach, basically, because I am just going to be covering kind of like my breast area here for this particular armor. And it also helps if you have a mirror, because right now, yeah, I'm just kind of like checking to see how everything's looking here. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's the same for like making boot covers. It's such a great technique to use for any custom pieces that you want, that you want like a custom size. I started out with cosplay. Hey, Yardley. No worries. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, I have to say, so Yardley, so Beth won last week on the Guess the Build session. So congrats, Beth. And then Yardley was really close. So I decided, hey, you know what? You're going to get a t-shirt. So I just want to give you a heads up, Yardley. So when I ordered a shirt, it's like this shirt. If you can see, there's like a white spot right here. Your first shirt will have a white spot. I don't know what happened with printing, but the second one will have no spots. So you'll have 2 shirts in the mail, just so you know. And I'm sorry for that. Somebody did a misprint of it. All right, so let me grab my mirror real quick. It's just over here. So 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let me grab it. Because I can only see so much in the screen. All right, so let me see if this works. You can kind of see the mirror under my camera here. Nope. See, like this. Okay, that's better. So I can see all this going on, and just to give you a better perspective, I'm going to lower my camera down. Let's see if I can back up here. It's just focusing on my face. I bought a new camera and it's just doing this, but hang on. Hang on just one second. We'll fix it. We shall fix it. No worries at all. Okay. Let me see. It's a little better. Let me try this. Let's lower it a bit. Okay. So, now you tape. Once you tape the area you want your armor to be in. All right. So, what I'm going to do is, yeah, this banner thing is like covering up the stuff. Yep, you're right, Beth. It is easier if you have a helper. So if you're just starting out with cosplay, definitely consider that. Me, I'm stubborn. So I just do my thing. So this is what I'm gonna do. And let me do like this and move. I got this whole new rig in my workshop right now that it's fixed up for streaming, so I'm still learning sort of like what I'm doing with all this. So please bear with me. All right, I'm gonna tiptoe for this part, so you can kind of see like my portion, my breast portion is already covered up with the duct tape. It actually looks like armor right now, doesn't it? So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look in the mirror. First, I'm gonna determine my middle part, which is here. Or if you don't know where your middle part is, look for your belly button. And kind of, I am a little crooked here, but your belly button is a good demarcation or like a indicator where your center is. So yeah. Okay, that sounds good. All right, so instead of doing like the regular bra shaped armor thing, well, first of all, I don't want a full armor. This thing is kind of like almost like a floating piece. So I'm gonna do like a line here. So it's kind of like a rectangle with rounded corners. So yeah. So let me see if we have enough what do you call this? If it's the same measurement on both sides. I'm gonna, you have a tape measure. Okay, so that's good. It's 8. And this is not so good. I need to go about an inch more. That should be it. The bottom part is shorter, so that's 5.5. I should have 5.5 in here. And it's not happening. But yeah, it is easier for that. Get a helper or something. All right, so after you mark it down, I kind of wanted to I kind of wanted to put just some lines to indicate, okay, like this is another line that I have here, because I don't really have a straight armor. This is going to be more of a curved armor, and that's kind of like what I'm getting at with this. And again, I'm measuring just to make sure right here. And again, each cosplayer has their own technique, so find what works for you. Like, this is what works for me. Like, definitely check and see what works for you. All right, now I'm going to cut myself out of this thing. So once you're satisfied with how you've marked everything on your chest armor or whatever you're tracing at, and I'm going to be doing more of these as months go by, just because I'm going to have a lot of like armor related builds that's coming up. So yeah, let me grab a pair of scissors here and cut myself out. And again, this part, you know, it will be really handy if you have a helper for sure. I'm going to free myself from this taped up mess that I created on myself. Well, that one didn't work so well. Hang on. I think we should be all right. That kind of like popped out on me. That's okay. So, that was a fail. I'm not going to lie. That was a bit of a fail. But the nice part is I have this other half that I can use. Shit happens. All right. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the middle part. Put that aside. I'm going to take out the excess wrap from here. And then I'm going to fix my edges. All right. And then you see how this is kind of like bunching up like this and it's not flattening out. You're going to do this with anything that has kind of like a curved or like a bumpy like surface. I'm going to cut a slit right here and you can see this whole pattern is now flattening out. So that's how you do it. That's how you do boobs as well. So there's my pattern. And what I'm going to do and trust the process. This is how it looks like right now, but it's going to be all right. We're going to be all right. So, I'm going to cut a little bit more in here to kind of like straighten it out a bit more. All right. So now we have kind of like a beginning for a pattern. All right, so I'm going to grab a smaller, what do you call this? Like a smaller bristle or a smaller point marker. And I'm just going to roughly trace this armor pattern that I built out of duct tape. All right, so once you trace that part, whee. All right, once you trace that part, you can fix the lines. If you want to straighten it out a bit more, you know, you can grab a ruler if you want to. Do I want to grab a ruler? Sure. This is how we do. Oh yes, definitely. Old shirt, you know, if you have an old shirt that you don't want to use anymore, definitely you can duct tape in there. Okay, so yeah, I'm just fixing my lines right now because I'm not very satisfied of how this was traced out. It's kind of like a rough trace. All right, so there you go. And then what I'm going to do is when you cut this in foam, you just cut it side by side. I'm going to do the middle part like whole instead of cutting two parts and then gluing them together. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do like, how do I explain this? You have to excuse me because English is my third language, so as much as possible I'm going to try to interpret myself a little better. Well, you can see Arthenia's staff back there. All right, so let me switch back to the build mode here. There you go. Okay, so now you can see this a little bit better. I'm going to put aside all the stuff that I don't need right now because we're done making the duct tape pattern. So I'm going to put this away in this lovely new shelf that I have here. I'm going to save my duct tape pattern and put this aside for now. And then, let's see. Got scissors. I'll put this aside for now as well. And then I'm going to cut out that pattern that I just created. So, and yes, I am aware it does look a little small, but like I said, you know, it's going to work out for the design that I have this. Like each week, I will be changing up what I'm showcasing, like which cosplays I'm showcasing. And again, depending on when the companies I'm working with get back to me about builds, if they get back to me on time, then you will be seeing builds for those cosplays that I'm being commissioned to make. Otherwise, you'll be seeing more of this stuff that I'm currently working on. Okay, so that pattern has been cut. Now we are going to go and grab our foam. Hooray. So, this one here, I'm pretty sure this is a 6mm foam that I have. And if you're online right now and watching, and if you have any questions about cosplay at all, how to build stuff, please feel free to comment and ask me anything. Ask me all the questions. So it is better to work with foam when it's flattened out really nice. I've just had this foam like rolled up for such a long time. But yeah, I mean, it's still fine. It's just nicer if it wasn't rolled up like this. So I'm gonna grab a pencil if I can find one. Let me see. Let me get rid of this mirror for now. Let me find my pencil. There it is. All right. So not sponsored, but this is HD Foam by SKS Props. He sells this out of Blick Art Store. Unfortunately, the Blick Art Store in downtown Chicago has closed. So no more Blick downtown, which is really sad because I frequent that area. And it's no more. So sad. Anyway, they do have a new location somewhere in the city. I am yet to find out where exactly that is. But yeah, it's there somewhere. If you get a hold of these, they are a lot easier to cut. They are a lot easier to work with somewhat. It's just softer. It just feels a lot softer. That's all I can say. So yeah, I just basically flip the pattern and then tracing the other half. So you have two very symmetrical pieces. And since this is a pattern that I'm working for the first time, I'm not gonna lie, this might be a rough looking armor because it's the first iteration of it. And the first time I'm making something like this. That's not like a full boob armor or anything like that. So let me just put this guy aside here because I don't want to drop my mirror. And let me grab my blade and let's sharpen it. So I'm going to show you how I sharpen my blade. I know I've shown this on another session or another stream that I have, but I'm just going to show you how I do it just in case you're curious to find out how this is being done. I'm going to do this. And as my friend Papa Bear Cosplay would say, slice it like you're slicing salami or cold cuts. So very thin slices. And it's pretty much the same grit on both sides here. You just flip the blade. And I try to go about 2 inches off my blade and sharpen it just in case I'm like cutting through like thicker fabric, like thicker foam, sorry. Since this is thicker foam, this is like a 6mm, I believe. Yeah, you're definitely going to need something that's a little, you're going to need to like lengthen your blade here. All right, so Sharp blade means that you'll have a better chance of like having your soft healing mat like spring back, which is awesome. And try to cut straight and what do you call this? Straight and continuous. All right, so here we go. So I applied some pressure and look at that. It's a clean cut right there. So yeah, that's kind of like what you want to see when you do cuts like this. When you're cutting foam, just make sure that you're doing one continuous cut, and look how clean that is. Comes out so clean. So now I'm going to do the inner corners here. And again, apply pressure. One continuous cut. And for our younger audiences watching today, please wear protective gear. There are cutting gloves that you can use for this. Or if you're not comfortable, please be safe and ask a grown-up to do this part for you. I don't want you getting hurt while making cosplay, because cosplay is supposed to be fun, okay? I was judging Origins last year, and one of the parents that joined the costume contest, nay, I take that back. One of the parents who made the cosplay for their kid for the contest actually ended up at the emergency room that weekend because they were using a box cutter, cutting foam, and she cut herself. So please be safe out there when you're using foam, or when you're cutting foam or anything at all that's cosplay related. It's really important to keep safe and just make sure you do stuff like slowly. You know, it's not a race. And again, I'm cutting with a continuous cut, just like butter. I'm going to cut here. Okay, looking good. Go over just a little bit so that will come out. I'm going to sharpen my blade. Now, you don't really have to have, your blade sharpened all the time. I just get into the habit of doing it just because. Yeah, isn't it awful? Yeah, like she brought her kid on stage and was like, yeah, like the mom ended up on the ER, and because she was cutting like foam, and it was a great cosplay, don't get me wrong. It was so great. Like they ended up placing, but I felt so bad for the mom. Like she really wanted her kid to win, and I'm like, if I had kids, I'd probably be the same way and be like overachiever. I'm not saying she's an overachiever. I'm saying I would be an overachiever if I had a kid and I had to compete. I'm like, that kid is gonna have the best cosplay no matter what. In my mind, that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, she ended up cutting her hand. Be careful out there. But yeah, try to make sure your blades are sharp. And just being honest, sometimes that really helps avoid accidents. Like having the sharp tools does help avoid accidents. I mean, chefs do it. Like chefs always they always sharpen their blades. And I know sharper blades do sound a lot more dangerous than dull blades, but there's a reason why they keep their utensils sharp. It's the same with cosplay, I think I need to sharpen this a bit more. I'm starting to feel a resistance. So we're going to take care of that. Okay, here we go. Last big cut here. Very nice. Okay. Almost perfect edges. The inner corners are the inner cuts are what I'm more concerned about. I want to make sure those are cleanly cut. If you cut that clean, this is a little rough here, but I can fix that. The reason why I want this close to perfect is because when I'm gluing this stuff, I want it to glue perfectly, and I don't want any bumps because I'm going to be honest, I hate covering up sections of foam. Like they have holes and gaps in it. I hate covering that up. Not to say that I can't do it. I can do it. But, why create an extra step for yourself? Like, why not just avoid doing that by just doing it right the first time, right? Chest piece, done. I just have to glue it together. Oh, and I just gotta cut this part here. Now, you might be wondering why I put these pieces aside. So these pieces that I have, I save. And I know that sounds ridiculous to some people, but I actually use this for detailing. So I'm going to show probably one of the sessions that I have, one of the streams that I'm going to have. I'm going to show a full stream where I take all of my scrap and do something about it. Now, I'm very notorious for saving all of these, and I've gotten a lot better. Like this piece right here, this can go to the garbage. We don't need it. Although you can use it for detailing, I'm not. I have too much. Like literally under this table, I have 2 large boxes of foam scraps. Long day. What did I say, right? Anyhow, so what we're going to do right now is glue this together. And like I said, I did promise myself no more using this cutting board for, look at that cut. Some deep cut. Oh, you can't really see it on screen, but there's a deep cut in there. But that should heal in a couple of days after, as long as it's clean, the surface is clean, that will clear right up and it will bounce right back. So I have this abused silicone mat that I've been using for painting and stuff. I do still have the black one in here, which is the larger black one. But since this is a small piece and I'm not using my airbrush, this is perfect size for it. Plus it coordinates with everything that I have going on in here. So it's barge time. Hey. All right. So all-purpose liquid cement. What is it? And what does it do? Well, first of all, it emits a lot of fumes. So we're going to do this thing called please open your windows when using it because it's safe to do so. And you don't want to inhale it. Trust me. You do not want to inhale this thing. And I know I need probably a better way of having like a vented area here. It's coming. We just need to figure out how exactly we're going to do it. It's kind of hard, like having a small space. And it's like, yeah, we have this house with all these rooms, but this room is small. And since I'm going to be sharing space soon, like, yeah, it's going to be different. Absolutely different. So I have my trusty fan here. And I'm going to open up my window real quick. Sometimes this window hates me, so please bear with me while I put this on. All right, so I didn't break anything, I promise. It was like the metal rods that I have on the side here. All right, so let me just install this and plug it in. I think it's already plugged in. Is it? Nope. Almost got my finger there. All right. Safety first. If you're using cement, please, 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 please wear a mask. Wear goggles if you could. But for the most part, please wear protective gear. It is not fun inhaling this stuff. Trust me. I have smelled some of it while working, and you will literally get sick. Like, you might not think it initially, like the first few hours, but the more you keep doing it, you will get sick. So please, please, please wear protective gear. I have so many goggles and respirator masks here for that particular reason. I don't skip this step. Please use it. I'm not gonna I can't say that enough. So let me go on ahead and wear this, and then I'm gonna apply this with some glue. I'm gonna grab my silicone. You've seen this guy. I've used it last stream. So I'm gonna go on ahead and clean this up a bit because I was using gold paint on it. And put this aside here. I'm gonna put this on. All right. Fans are working great, and here we go. Okay, I think the fumes have gone away, which is awesome. Because this fan is like really good at like venting out the stuff, which is cool. So I went on ahead and like glued this stuff together, and as you can see, there's like barely any. Well, you can kind of see where the line is, but on the back side, it looks almost like really, really clean. I'm just really tempted to just flip this way, but it is cleaner this way. I mean, honestly, though, it doesn't really matter which side I use. And the reason why is because I'm going to be covering this up with design anyway. And yeah, it's just going to be hidden. So it doesn't matter if I did it cleanly or not. So this is like my chest piece. So this is what it will look like. And I did notice that there are some sections in here that are kind of like, see what I mean here? Like they're not like lined up together. Should I leave it like that or should I trim it? I think I should trim it. And then the pattern that I had earlier, this one, I do want to save this as much as I can because in the future, if I wanted to recreate the same pattern, then I already have a pre-made like cardboard pattern for it. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut this part out. I just kind of want to make it look like they like line up. You know what I mean? Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut one part and then use that cut part to mark the other one because they are symmetrical. So let's put this guy aside for now. Back to the cutting board. And let's sharpen our blade. So yeah, if you have any questions about this part, please feel free to let me know. If I am silent, you will see at the bottom of the screen that if I'm not talking or whatever, I will note it down on the screen here and let you know like what's up, like where did I go, why am I not talking, kind of deal. So yeah, let me sharpen this guy up. And also be careful sharpening your tools as always, you know. Let me see, where's that thing that I cut or that I marked earlier? So this guy here. Let me see. Flatten it out a bit. Around this edge. And I don't want to press too hard on the pencil. There you go. Okay. Had to go back, but luckily, you know, it was still a clean cut. Lucked out on that one. All right, so now this other side here. Let me see. I think I went like this. Yep. So I'm just gonna, since they are symmetrical, I'm just gonna cut this, trace it with my pencil. Grab my old pattern and I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. That way down the road, you know, when I do my this armor again, then I know that I'm going to cut it on that side. Maybe it's the other side, that's better. Right? Okay. And as always, you know, when I was doing the Raven armor, you saw me like tape everything with masking tape just in case you're really not sure about your pattern that you created. Tape it up, like tape this up and see if it lines up. And as you can see, after I cut this, If I did tape this together, they do line up now. So yeah, it's a lot better. It's perfect. All right, so let me cut this piece right here. One continuous cut. There you go. So let me wear this. And it's just going to be covering my chest portion. The reason why I have this armor built like this, and let me go down a bit here so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's just covering like a little bit above, like 2 inches above my belly button, is because I'm going to have this elaborate belt to go with this armor. And then after that, um, it has all these other designs that's going to go in here. So here's the fun part that I've been waiting to do with this cosplay. Oh, reminds me. So what was I doing with this? So earlier while I was waiting for this to dry up a little bit, I was trying to replicate this in the same shape. But now that I had to trim a portion of it, I'm going to do this. And you'll see why in a second here. So I'm going to cut the duplicate of this pattern. All right. I really need to slow down. I'm just so excited to make this. I'm starting to like rush making this, which I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. All right, so okay. I'm put my trash aside here. So this is I'm gonna label this Arizona because it is inspired by the tea. That's the tea for you. All right, and then so now I have this piece, and what I'm going to do different with this piece is I'm actually going to um make my design in here. So I have this bottle, and you're familiar with this drink. I've been talking about this. It's one of my favorite drinks ever. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of detailing going on the cap. They used to sell this in glass bottle form, and they don't anymore. And quite frankly, this thing, it took me a long time to find what the heck happened to these bottles. There was so few so far in between. Like I couldn't find it for the life of me for some weird reason. But anyhow, this is what I'm gonna do. So let me grab some masking tape, and I'm gonna show you what I'm about to do. So pardon the mess, because what cosplay work isn't a mess, right? So I'm gonna grab my masking tape here, and then I'm just gonna basically mimic. Oh yeah, it is. It has a good taste to it. It's like sweet, but it's like sweet enough. It's like not too sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me tape this. Basically, just mimicking the armor I just created. And like I said, find what makes you comfortable, like making this stuff. Like if you ever find it that you're more comfortable making it in such a way that you would rather have a flat surface to work on, or like a flatter piece to work on, something along those lines, definitely go for that. But I just kind of like want to mimic this only because I want to know where stuff is going and I want to mark it down. Some people do the duct tape method again for marking the stuff down while they're wearing it. This is what I'm going to do for mine. It's just a preference. And like I said, to each their own. I'm just going to fix this real quick. To each their own with like these types of armor making. But I kind of do this because then I can tell like the curvature of the design, like where exactly does it fall and stuff like that. It's a weird thing that I'm going to do. This bottle, the neck of it, I'm actually going to cover half of that design. So let me do that. Because I'm only going to sketch half of it anyway. All right, so let's start with sketching the design. So, and some people, you know, are good with freehanding. I freehand most of my stuff. That's just how I do it. So I don't know. I'm sure you can't see this because it's too bright. So let me turn this off. I think you'd be able to see it better. I think it's a little better. So there's a tulip right above. Let me get that. Now, if you're good at Photoshop or if you want to render it on a computer program, go ahead and do that. Like I said, you know, each person has their own technique. I just like to suffer. Just kidding. All right, let's see here. I'm just checking the components real quick here. We do have a circle, and I know I have a freaking, what do you call this? Not a coin, but I have like a circular thing around here. You know what? Any circular thing would work, right? So I'll just use this, and it already has a middle part. So let me do that. Here you go. Let's make a circle. The bottom part has a circle. And honestly, you know, I would really, really love to just do this in the computer. I did trace it at some point with some computer program. It just never comes out the same. Plus, like I just wanted to line up to the curvature of the armor that I have. And that was something that I was really having a hard time and struggling to figure out, was how I was going to do that. Now, for some people, you know, it's easier to scan this after doing all the sketching. It's easier to scan the stuff. Totally fine. I just prefer doing it this way. And I do love to draw. So that's another thing that I really like doing. If you do have any questions for me, please feel free to drop it in comments for sure. I know it's really hard to see, isn't it? And I really want to show you what I'm sketching. Hang on, let me try this real quick. I'm going to see if I can find another stand here so you can actually see what I'm working on. I'd be such a shame not to see it while I'm streaming. So let's see. Let's try this real quick. I'm going to use the armor. There you go. Armor for the win. Then I'm going to use that. There you go. That's much better. Now you can see what I'm sketching. So there is, can't see the bottle, but I do need it. So I'm just going to set that beside me real quick here. This is like a ribbon. But yeah, if you Google the image of the bottle, you really would need to kind of like buy it or find like a 3D, like 360 view of it in order to see the full design. Because for the most part, they've covered it up. So that's the reason why I hunted down this bottle, just for that reason, so that I can find the design fully and just like manipulate the bottle so I can see it like per angle. So yeah, do I freehand my stuff a lot? Absolutely. Is it always like a good solution? Absolutely not. So yeah, this is how I do it. Oh wow, that shows up really good on camera, does it? All right, let's see what else we got going on in here. This is a really, really elaborate design. I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, I think. Let me see. Just checking my proportions here. There's like a tulip right up here. And again, I'm drawing half of the photo or half of the image because I want the symmetry once I cut these designs up. Okay. And I may adjust accordingly later just to see, you know, okay, is this too big? Is this too small? Whatever. But yeah, if you want to do a side-by-side comparison of the design and what this actually looks like go ahead and Google what the green tea bottle looks like and look for the bottle the neck bottleneck. I guess you could call it bottleneck, right? All right, so let's see. There's like a curve right here. I did not study art, by the way. I am self-taught. I wish I studied art. When I moved into the country, I was living in Madison, Wisconsin, and I planned on going to the Arts Institute out here in Chicago. I actually really wanted to make a portfolio and like submit it and stuff like that. It never happened. Um, that is like my dream thing to do. Let's see. And again, not a professional here, so please bear with me with all this like rough sketching going on. Most of the time, I get it right when I eyeball it. And this is a very, very intricate design, so trying really hard to mimic it and get the right proportions as much as I can on top of everything. Now the raven armor that I made, it was covered in fabric. That's a good example of kind of like showing people that you don't really need to have like elaborate or like the foam skills to actually do like elaborate armor. You can use fabric to design your stuff. And sometimes it's just so easy, you know. It's a lot easier and prettier in some aspects. Like you can use like vinyl or faux leather or suede or like those gold or like silver metallic like vinyl faux leather like type of material. Those type of things like they look so good like when you put it on top of foam. I may do that for my next build. So just waiting to hear back. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, like, that's kind of like part of the thing about this like sending out proposals for builds. It's like, can I do this? Because this is what it's gonna cost. All right, let's see this part here. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to depict because it looks like feathers and then it has flowers around it and stuff like that. I'm about ready for a water break here. And if you're watching, please have a water break right now. Reminding you that this is your time to drink some water while you're watching this. All right. see. My gosh, if this is not like, I honestly, like, out of all the very intricate and design heavy stuff that I've ever made, this is probably on top of that list now. There's so much stuff going on. Okay. And these details like look small, but imagine this, like all of this is like different colors too. That's another thing that's crazy about this build. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna throw my a pic of my sketch for this character just yet. The reason being is, I'm just gonna be honest, like sometimes like I throw an original design out there and somebody steals it, and it's really sad because it's something that I've been working on for a really long time, and stuff just happens. It's like with any art, you know, things like this happen all the time, unfortunately. Not by choice, but you know, it just happens. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Water break. Let me go and drink real quick here because this is a lot. This is a lot of work. All right, let me fix that. Now, I promised myself I was only going to stream for an hour, but since there's quite a bit of you watching right now, I'm not going to let you down. So please let me know what you think about this build so far. I know it's like not as polished as I hoped it would be, but it's not bad, right? I don't think it's that bad. In my mind. All right, let me flatten this out a little bit. Let me see here. Yeah, this design is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay, got my circle right here. And then the tough part about this is after doing all this sketching and all this hard work of lining stuff up perfectly, etc., is if I don't like the proportion, I get to start all over again. Yay! Because that's what I do. Let me see here. How's this drawing looking? It's all right. Let's see. Oh, hey there. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. I just waited like a whole year just to do this. So yeah, I'm excited just as much as you are. Yardley says, "What was the Bell Boba Fett all hand done on the stained glass looking pieces?" That's a great question. I actually, for Bell Fett, or the Bell Boba Fett armor that I did, I'm going to tell you a secret about that. So I did use 2mm foam, and then I used my brother cutting machine. It's similar to Cricut. How do you all pronounce it? Is it Cricut or Cricut? But anyhow, like, you know, like I actually rendered the design out of a coloring page I found online. I found like a coloring page for a rose that would fit perfectly for my armor pieces, and then I resized it in such a way that it would fit my armor pieces. Went to town with the cutting machine, and then you okay, so you pronounce it like the bug. Okay, that's exactly how I pronounce it too. Um awesome. That's good to know. So I'm not crazy. So what was I getting at? So basically, like when I'm gonna turn this on because this looks a little dark here. Is that, you can still see the drawing all right? Okay. I think you can still see it. But anyhow, initially when you put it through the cutting machine and it's done cutting, it will look like it didn't cut the foam, which is exactly what you need. You just needed to cut the surface. And normally I had it set to cut paper, I believe. I haven't done it on my Cricut yet. Um, but yeah, like I have it set to cut paper, and basically what it would do is it would score the foam. And after that, you go and grab your heat gun and you heat it ever so gently, very gently. Don't blast it with too much heat, but you kind of like heat it in circular motion so that you're not heating the whole foam, and all of a sudden you will see just this design like come up. It's prettiest thing ever when you do it. You can also use, if you don't have a cutting machine, you can also do it by hand, which is there's no problem doing that at all. You can still score it. What I normally do, um, here's a good example. If you've seen the picture of my Queen Mira from Gears of War, the helmet that I have and all the armor pieces, all of those are hand etched. And I did the exact same technique. So I got an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, and then I drew my lines like perfectly. Like I really measured each line to make it look proportional. And then, for example, this is my foam, right? I have my foam down here, but I had a book holding my arm so that it's elevated a bit while I scored the design. And what does that do? What exactly that does is it raises your, well, first it raises your hand, but then even if you go hard, you have this like even motion of your blade, because that book is like stopping your arm from going too deep, cutting that foam. I don't know if I explained that properly. If you if you want me to explain that a little bit more, I guess the best way to do it is actually a demo, right? I will demo that at some point. But yeah, definitely I'm going to demo how I did that by hand, because all these tools, they're good for something, obviously, but at the end of the day, your creativity is what's really important. Like, it's the way how you um like manipulate the foam or the fabric, or how you use the tool. Another thing that you can use aside from like the cutting machine, or your what do you call this, your box cutter or X-Acto knife, is to get a wood burning tool. That's another tool that you can use to etch designs on your foam. Now that I'm not so much a fan of, and the reason why is because when you use a wood burning tool, it's less forgiving. Like, it's like anything with fire. If you burn something, that's it. Like, you're done. That's you're done. Like, there's no erasing that or whatever. Um, and it's very. I guess you can really like cover it up with some bathroom caulk, like the flexible type, but still, like, don't create more work for yourself. That says it's like how painters use a stick to hold their hand above the painting. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you know how they have. I can't describe it. It's like a bar that they have on top of the canvas, and then they have their hand on top of there. Yeah, it's kind of like a similar thing that they do. This part of the design is kind of hard. This is kind of like a. I believe this is a chrysanthemum. Time flies when you're having fun. Like, I didn't realize it was already like almost 9. But anyway, I am having fun, and I hope you are having fun watching this while I epically fail on this sketch. Man, sketching is hard. So yeah, like I really hope, and this is just like thinking out loud and something a little bit personal. I really hope people would stop thinking that I don't make my own cosplay, because I do. And now they can watch me make my cosplay and not accuse me of not making my cosplays, right? I don't know. I always get that all the time. It's like, How do you have time to cosplay? Like, somebody must be making your cosplay. I'm like, I make time. I make time for my cosplaying, my stream, my website, my husband, my full time job. Like, it's a juggling act for sure. It's a lot, and it's a juggling act. And like being sick on top of that last year, that was a lot on my body. I didn't even count how many petals go on this design, to be honest. I'm just going with what I can draw out of this space. Because to be honest, it is really hard to have an exact replica. Like I said, I'm not a trained artist. I wish I was. I wish I went to school for it, but it's not too late. Maybe one of these days I'll pick up a course or two, like an online course. This is a really bad eraser. This is really not doing a good job erasing my drawing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good guide. Like that painters thing that Beth was saying, it is a really good guide to hold your hand steady. But yeah, be creative like me. I use like books or like a piece of wood, just like what Beth was saying, or like anything that can elevate my arm. All right, hang on. Before I keep doing this part, it is a really, really crazy looking section of the design here. But I'm gonna draw kind of like a rough circle. Huh. And continue with the petals. Because I want, because see how this height is like not the same as the others. It happens. But yeah, I just need to keep moving on a circular motion. It's a lot of circles on this design. And here's the thing, like all of this like that I'm drawing right now is going to be a combination of the um etched design and layers of 2 millimeter eva foam or eva foam. I like having that dimension. It just makes for a really interesting piece when you have like all these like different um pieces that kind of like stick out and pieces that are like embedded. You know what I mean? Like pieces that are etched. It adds like a lot of interest to your armor piece. But yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, definitely write that down on chat. Um, and Slater Art says same. Went for illustration. Learn more outside of school. Wow, that's awesome. But yeah, sometimes it's kind of like with it's the same with accounting too. And when I had psychology, like so those are my 2 degrees. Pick the most boring degrees ever. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody with those degrees, but those are my 2 degrees that I have. I have a degree in psychology and I also have a degree in accounting. And currently I'm an accountant. And it's like the most boring. It's like that's why I keep falling back to art because I'm not bored with my job right now, but you can only take numbers so much in a day. Don't you agree? It's like thinking about numbers all day. It's fun. And let me tell you, like, we have like it's the beginning of the year, so we have tax stuff going on and then we have audit stuff going on. So it's like it's a lot. It's a lot. So this is probably like the least amount of makeup you'll ever see me on stream, hopefully. Because I was just kind of just like rambling. Had 10 minutes to eat dinner and then how's that looking? Is that all right? I guess it's as good as it can get. Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree, Beth. Like it's always the people who have like the jobs that are kind of like I again, I'm not gonna say that my job is boring. It's not boring. I'm gonna be honest, and that's just being honest because there is an aspect of my accounting job that I do enjoy a lot. Don't get me wrong, okay? I don't want this coming back to my boss and be like, "Hey, she's bored." It's like I'm not. I have a lot to do. don't give me, don't give me more stuff to do because I have a lot on my plate. Anyway, but yeah, it's like that's why I kept my accounting job for so long. My accounting job stimulates my here, and then my cosplay job stimulates my creativity. So, um, yeah, absolutely. I like the balance. It both balance each other out. So that's what I like about it. So it's 9 o'clock. I got 30 minutes, everyone. How are we looking? Or how is this looking? Good lord. Also, I need a better eraser. I know I have one around here somewhere. It's just strewn about the room. But yeah, I'm so happy with this new shelf. I do have a new shelf that's coming up. I don't know if you guys can see it. Um, I do have a new one that's similar color. It's like a black thing, black grid shelving that also has wheels. This one has wheels as well. But all of my stuff will be there. And I think I'm going to move my helmets above me over here on display. No, what I was thinking is this exposed side of the shelving. I'm going to put this. Let me show you real quick. Found this at the hardware store. So I was going to put it here and then hang my props. So how would you like that? Like, would that be a cool idea, or should I just keep my props elsewhere? Yeah, I mean, like psychology is also fun. Accounting is also fun because you learn. It's a practical life skill to learn anything about money, especially in this day and age. There's just a lot that you can learn with accounting, but psychology, when I had that degree, like I was working in HR, and then I was working in um what do you call this, like I worked as like a temp teacher for like a cerebral palsy school in Manila, and it was actually close to my house. So I worked there for a semester, and I really enjoyed teaching kids, and that's where my passion for like teaching kids like came from. Sorry about that. Here you go. Oh yeah, yeah. I think you know what, the the props that I will have. Maybe I will spray paint this like purple, and then just hang them in here so you can actually see it. Because like looking at this light from the screen, I can't actually see what's on it. But I have all these props that are like inserted at the back of the shelf just because I don't want them like falling off. Like right now, you can just see like my Arthenia staff, which is back there. You see the giant skull up there. That's like the big prop that I have that I can hang from the curtain rod right now. But yeah, sorry about that. I know I'm just like moving this thing all over the place, probably making you dizzy. But yeah, I'll figure something out. I do kind of like want to put my props on the side here just so that everyone can see my actual work. That way people will know I'm not a fraud. But yeah, I need a better eraser, y'all. Don't worry, I'll buy one for sure. I wasn't happy about the proportion of that, so I'm going to work with this really dirty surface now. Hang on. Will this work? I'm trying to clean off my eraser here somehow. Let's see. So what I'm gonna do when I'm done tracing the stuff, I'm gonna trace it in parchment paper and then do some designs on foam, and then the rest I'm gonna cut up some 2mm foam and glue it on top of this armor piece that I just made tonight. Yeah, I think so too. I think props would be really cool to like hang around here somewhere, right? Because then people know like, yo, I actually make props too. I know for a while, like I was known for making armor, and then when I started doing more sewing stuff, because I did a lot more armor stuff than sewing, then people thought I only sewed or I only knew how to sew. Um, and then none of the armor pieces were like stuff that I made, which is so bizarre. I don't understand why that would be. Oh, I'm missing petals here. I'm missing petals. And I'm not doing a good job drawing. Help! But yeah, there's supposed to be petals in between these guys. Or sorry, these things. I should say these things instead of these guys. Sorry. All right. This is a lot. I think, for the inner petals, like this part that I'm drawing in right now, I'm gonna do like an etched design on foam, on the foam armor. And then for the this main one, I'm gonna do an actual um cutout of 2mm foam with these edge detailing here. But yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, whole year. I waited a whole year to make this. My goodness. It's either a year or like a couple of years. It's just the same as the build that I have from last week. So I'm just playing catch up with all of these builds. I'm just happy to share this with everyone. Like I really just like want to keep being creative. This is what I really enjoy doing. Or maybe I'll do 2mm foam on this as well. I don't know. It depends how hard it is. I mean, that's really what it boils down to, right? Now for the photo shoot for this, I do plan on doing a photo shoot for this armor. Hopefully, like during the springtime, where there's flowers just blooming all over the place. Unfortunately, my garden probably won't be that ready for the spring just yet. I kind of like let my garden go on during the fall because I had so much medical issues that I just had a hard time like keeping up with it. So what does that mean? That means I need a lot of cleanup this spring, which sucks. But that's just how it is sometimes. So please take care of your health, everyone. Like please consider your health above anything, because there's nothing worse than being stuck and like in bed for like weeks on end. It's just ridiculous. All right, let's see here. Oop. So freehanding here. Oh my gosh, yes. Big Harlequin armor or a hammer would be so fantastic. Um oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me telling me that I'm doing good in here cuz like I don't know. I don't know how this is looking cuz I just keep on trucking in here while this stream is going on. But yeah, like most of the stuff that I do make for armor, I do freehand a lot. Like Queen Mira, I did that. The helmet, I did it like in a day. Not to brag, like I really did that in a day. Like I just pretty much freehanded it. And I just like that day when I was making it, I was just really inspired to make something, and I was just like really pumped on how the whole thing was coming together. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep going, and yeah, it turned out so good. Like, unfortunately, the helmet for that got ruined because upstairs we stored some of my costumes upstairs in our attic, and our attic doesn't have vents because this house is hella old. It's like built in the 1920s. So what ended up happening was it melted my helmet. So the glue all came off. Like you know how when you heat armor to form it, like it's all like deformed now because it was so hot upstairs. It was ridiculous. Like I tried filming some stuff, some vlogs upstairs while I was like redecorating. Because I have a Pusheen corner upstairs. That's where I film all of my Pusheen unboxing for the Pusheen box. I'm an affiliate for that, and I have a dedicated section of the attic that's just for that, just for unboxing these things. And it was just so hot. I was like sweating the whole time I was doing this work. Oh my gosh, that's just the first half top of this. Oh, thank you. Thank you, and Slater Art, and thank you, Yardley. Oh, thanks for encouraging me. I really do need it. I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? It's like drawing this stuff. It's heckin' hard. Yeah, especially like, sometimes when they have like the plastic packaging and it's like all like the lines are like not lined up perfectly because that's how the art was printed. Like I'm dealing with that too. So I had to be like really careful about how I'm drawing this whole piece. Look how dirty this eraser is. Holy cow. I'm gonna take a trip to the dollar store tomorrow or something. I don't know. I think tomorrow will be the only time this week that's gonna be good weather, which is like so bogus. I'm so over it. I know, like Sunday, I felt like wearing shorts because we have like what, like 40 degrees or something. That was fun while it lasted, but with all the snow melting, it was so muddy outside. I was like, no, I did not want to go anywhere or do anything. So yeah, I'm trying to. I know I shouldn't rush, but I'm trying to finish this before my stream ends at 9:30. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so let me do. But yeah, I just wanted to like do kind of like mimic the armor. So now I actually know where everything's gonna sit. I think this looks perfect the way it is. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scan this on like scan it with my camera and then clean it up. My Samsung phone has a sketchbook option, and that's where I've been doing all of my character sketches at for the most part, like for the past 2 years now, since COVID started. Because sometimes I just feel like really inspired and then just start drawing. And I did so many drawings last 2 years, so many drawings. So that's kind of like a good thing to have because like when you're traveling or like when you just want to just pick up something real quick, you know what I mean? Like that really comes in handy just having a phone. Like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night because, vampire. Just kidding, I'm not a vampire. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I have shorts on right now, so but let me try rubbing it on my apron and see if that cleans it. It's actually doing the job. Thank you for that. Thank you for that tip. Can I flip the eraser? Oh my god. Guess what? I can. I should have flipped it in the first place. Thanks, yeah. Oh my gosh. I should have looked up more. What am I doing? Making life harder for myself. That's what. Anyhow, thank you for all the tips. Now my drawing's gonna look a little cleaner. But man, I don't know. Maybe I mean it is cleaning it up a bit, but like not by much. That's okay. Like I said, this is really a ah. Thanks for the tips, everyone. That does work out. Should have flipped the eraser in the first place. Good grief. All right, so let's see. But yeah, I mean, I rubbed it on my apron and it worked out too. So that helped out. So thanks for the suggestions, everyone. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna go and do this. Holy moly. I might actually be done here before the stream ends. So let's not jinx it and keep going. All right. I don't know if you can see this still. I'm not very good at digital art yet. I am trying to practice more and more each day just so that I can like try to see if I can make patterns down the road for all of the builds that I make. Because it's so much fun seeing like all these different people either creating your exact original art or making their own rendition of it. I think that's like the best form of copying that anyone can ever do is just try to copy like what I replicate or replicate what I actually make and either just do the exact copy of it or um, yeah, come up with their own design. Now the fun part is this dead space over here. I'm going to show you in a bit here what I'm going to do with it. So I'm thinking I need to do a stream on different days. So I did a Monday, I did a Wednesday, and now you're seeing me every Tuesdays here in stream. So it makes me wonder what other days should I stream? Should I do Saturday and Sunday or Sunday? Friday? Like eventually I will be streaming twice a week and only because if I do land these projects, then that means I'm going to be building on those days. So let me know what other days I should stream that you'd be interested in. And I'll gladly schedule those down the road once I get my proposals approved. Let's see here. Okay, it's coming along together, everyone. So yeah, let me know. Let me know how this is looking. And I'm actually gonna zoom out so you can see the whole thing. I don't know. This eraser is just really not doing the trick. It's like eraser gate here. And I'm actually done with this part. Yay! That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna do this other part here, which is gonna be a fun part, but I definitely want to add this on the armor. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side too. Or actually, hang on a sec. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I'll try to follow that curve. And trying as much as possible to be proportionate to this line here. All right. Now, I know I did mention earlier that copying is, a form of flattery, but please credit the artist you're copying from. Like, I know this is a common occurrence to any artist out there, but this is a reason why not a lot of artists like last long or continue to pursue their art, because of people who kind of like poach their artwork or just don't give them credit. It's very disheartening. Being an artist is really hard work. Like, you have to subject yourself to people who steal your art, and on top of that, like, people who don't not just don't understand your art, but they don't what word am I looking for here? They're not appreciative of it, or they're not like kind of like looking at it in an open mind, I guess. So yeah, this basically will say green tea if you can't read handwriting under what do you call this, like upside down. So we'll say green tea in here. So yeah, this is what my armor is gonna look like. So yeah, um, I do want to go to Maryland and get photos at the Cherry Blossom Festival, but that's like so close. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. Like, with all this pending stuff that I have going on, I don't know if it's gonna be finished in time for that. But I know for a fact that by late April, early May, I'll probably be finished with this. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I've got a little bit, like 8 minutes left on my stream here. I actually do finish. Green tea. Now, for this design, I did do a mix of medieval and Asian influence on my design. I kind of wanted to mix it up because it is a fantasy character that I've created, and it's inspired by, like a current design that they have of one of their products. But yeah, this is it. This is half of the armor. Oh, pink erasers are pretty bad. I will definitely take note of that. All right, and let's see here. Friday or Saturday would be good. Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Yay, green tea. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit farther. But yeah, this is the middle part. And that. And then I'm going to show you a close-up of the bottleneck here, just so that you can see what I was trying to draw. So, oh my gosh, this is like really, really hard to zoom. Let me try the other camera real quick here. So this is that, right? And then let me try this other camera, because then you can see, hopefully. Can you see it better? No, it's just really dark. Yeah, help me with the lighting. I know you can't really see it. Let me try to switch the screen real quick here. Oh, thank you. Thanks everyone. Let me do, come on, where is my mouse? There you go. Let me try this. This better? A little bit. A little bit. You can kind of see, right? There's like the big flower and then the green tea mark. Now let me remove this masking tape. But yeah, I pretty much bought this bottle for that particular reason, is just to see the design. If I move it far away, you can kind of see it. But yeah, the two flowers, like, so this is gonna be, there's gonna be another one on the other side. One's pink and then one's blue. But everything else is the exact same color. I'm really proud of how this turned out. So all I need to do now with this is I'm basically going to um, trace this and then cut out the pieces, and then some of the pieces I will trace onto the foam, and then some of the pieces I'm basically going to cut out of 2mm foam, and then glue it on just to add that detail. um I think for the belt, I'm going to be doing, you see this band up here, that's what I'm going to be doing the belt out of. Like, that's the design it's going to be. Oh, you can actually see the bottleneck now. There you go. So yeah, let me flip to the full design here. So this is, just take note, this is upside down. That's the upside down design of it. And then yeah, that design for the bottleneck, that is going to be what it's going to look like. You try this. Now you can see it better. So yeah, and then the bottleneck, at the top of the bottleneck, that's what the belt's going to look like. So the belt part doesn't seem to be all that bad. But yeah, I'm going to incorporate that top portion into a lot of the armor pieces as well, like the shoulder, what do you call it? Like the epaulettes. I'm gonna make epaulettes on the side. I know I just did that for my Raven build, but since I already have the pattern, that's the beauty of it. I can reuse the same pattern and do the exact same thing, just different design. So do that with the epaulettes, and then I'll have like cherry blossoms like hanging down. Um, and then the bottom part after the belt, I think I'm gonna line the belt with pink fur. That's still debatable. I'm still debating on that, whether I should do that or not, because that might be a little bit too extra. You know what I mean? But that's how my builds are. I'm just a little bit too extra. I am gonna be sewing a kimono type tunic with kind of like I have like 4-way stretch fabric that I bought that I'm going to make leggings. I'm actually going to do a dip dye. So if dip dye ombre fabric is something that you want to watch, let me know in the comments, and then I will make sure that next week I'm going to be doing a dip dye demo while I'm here, because I can actually do that in this room now. The reason why is because I have a hot plate that I used to use on my old apartment, and then I bought a huge like pot just for dyeing fabric. And again, people didn't believe that I do ombre painting. I don't know why, but like I know how to ombre dye fabric now, and I want to show the whole process. Like, how do you do it? How do you keep the fabric like perfectly ombre and dip dye. But yeah, I am planning on doing all that. So it looks like a yes. It looks like next week's gonna be fabric dyeing week. So yeah, absolutely. So I do have the fabric upstairs already. All I have to do is I think that's all. I already have a tunic. So because I intended on doing this Wonder Woman cosplay, and it had like a cape kind of like thing going on. I sewed all the cape together, but I haven't gotten around to dip dyeing it. So that might be something that I'll be doing. But for this armor, the cape is not going to be like a huge cape. It's just something really small and short. I just want to be able to have something to wear that I can just wear around freely, and like something light. At the same time, have like these cool armor pieces. So please keep an eye out on social media. I will have this design properly properly digitized, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'll sell the digitized version online once I'm done with it. But this is not the final product. This will still be needing a lot of work cleaning up and resizing. I think I'm going to resize the flower to make it bigger. But yeah, let me know what you think. I really appreciate you all for watching. Like I thought there was going to be another quiet session today, and I can't thank you enough for stopping by and giving me tips as well. So I appreciate that, everyone. So yeah, thank you. And if you just missed, everything that's been talked about or everything that just happened, if you have any questions and if you're catching this on our YouTube channel, which where I normally upload a lot of our replays in, please don't hesitate to write in the comment section if you have any questions at all. But I appreciate you all and thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night and yeah, keep creating. All right, guys. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.